Couch Potatoes Unite is sponsored today by Heritage Theater Group. Based in Grand Rapids, Michigan, HTG is presenting 3 wonderful works this summer that put history on stage. Running July 12th through 21st is Anton Chekhov's The Cherry Orchard, followed by Fool for Love by Sam Shepard, which runs July 28th through August 4th. Their season closes with Assassins by Stephen Sondheim and John Weidman, running August 9 through 18. Heritage Theater Group performs Thursday through Saturday at the Spectrum Theater at GRCC. For tickets and more information, visit heritagetheatergr.org. That's Heritage, THEATREGR.org. Or give us a call at 616-951-4842. We hope to see you at the theater.
Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of the podcast entitled Couch Potatoes Unite! Which is based on a blog of the same name because it's like the perfect marriage between a gay former lawyer and a straight interior designer. They're married, right?
Nah.
Kidding, people. My name is Kylie, and I love TV. If you feel the same, keep listening and or checking out our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, as you're bound to find some common ground or something you like. For Couch Potatoes Unite, we're all about the wonders and unique long-form storytelling of the small screen. CPU is upon our summer season and hopes you've been following releases of brand new episodes of the podcast on Wednesdays, as well as new blog entries on some Tuesdays, and as always, we have several more new episodes on the way. Because the panels and I live lives behind our podcast, the episodes are published once per week. Subscribe to the blog or the podcast via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and via Google Play to stay on top of brand new episodes. Episodes already published discuss a variety of shows around the water cooler, including, but not limited to, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, The Vampire Diaries, Orange is the New Black, The Good Place, Grace and Frankie, Game of Thrones, Broadchurch, Stranger Things, iZombie, Fuller House, and American Horror Story. Plus, new episodes are in the works, including revisits for Doctor Who, A Series of Unfortunate Events, The X-Files, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., New Girl, The Originals, Supernatural, Gotham, Once Upon a Time, 13 Reasons Why. The Marvel's Defenders panel will talk Season 2 of Luke Cage, and the DCTU will revisit all 4 shows in the CW's Arrowverse. We'll be launching new panels covering Sense8, The Crown, Westworld, and Arrested Development. We'll be launching a new feature called Versus, where we'll be comparing shows in a spicy debate. And because we look back at shows now past, we'll be looking back at one of our most popularly requested panels of all time. That would be Friends, and I swear to you on everything I know that it is coming very soon. By the way, did you know that CPU also from time to time goes live? We've been live from the Bunker, comedy outlet Mondays at Dog Story Theater and Grand Rapids Comic-Con, and we're planning more live appearances and other cool stuff. So make sure you like or follow us at our Facebook page, our Twitter at CPU Podcast, our Instagram at Couch Potatoes Unite, or subscribe to the blog, our YouTube channel, our iTunes channel, our Stitcher Radio channel, or find us on Google Play. In the meantime, if you don't hear your show in this podcast format, fellow panelists and I still write reviews, and we always seek new panelists, so if you have any interest in joining the discussion, say hello by finding us at any of those outlets I've mentioned. At the very least, stop by and leave us a thumbs up, comment, or review. We like feedback, even if you have to have a few extra vodka martinis to do it. We can take it. I'm sure we can. Today's panel is Around the Water Cooler for part 2 of our Look Back to Look Forward miniseries, devoted entirely to Will&Grace. In today's episode, our panel reviews, reacts to, and recaps the Revival Season 9, which aired from September 28, 2017 to April 5, 2018 on NBC. To remind the listener, if you didn't already know, Will&Grace is set in New York City and focuses on the relationship between Will Truman, played by Eric McCormick, a gay lawyer, and his best friend Grace Adler, played by Deborah Messing, a Jewish woman who owns an interior design firm. Also featured are their friends Karen Walker, played by Megan Mullally, an alcoholic socialite, and Jack McFarlane, played by Sean Hayes, a flamboyantly gay actor. The interplay of relationships features the continuing trials and tribulations of dating, marriage, divorce, and casual sex, as well as comical key stereotypes of gay and Jewish culture. In September 2016, the cast reunited for a 10-minute special released online, urging Americans to vote in the 2016 presidential election. After its rousing success, NBC announced that the network was exploring the idea of putting Will&Grace back into production. In January 2017, NBC confirmed the series' return for a 9th season for the 2017-18 television season, which was eventually expanded to 16 episodes. This was followed by renewals for 18-episode 10th and 11th seasons. Today, our wacky Will and Grace panel, namely Andrew, Jeremy, and Emily, have returned to the water cooler, ready to look forward at new seasons of this revived sitcom as eagerly as Grace might be to dive into a box of donuts or other foodstuffs of her choice. As always, it should be noted that all of our panelists have viewed the entire series to date and may discuss sensitive plot points, sight gags, and jokes otherwise best appreciated on a first watch. So for those of you who have not watched Will and Grace, including the original or the revival Season 9, and plan to do so, listen at your own risk as there may be major spoilers. Welcome back, panel. How are you?
Hi.
Great. Awesome.
That's so convincing. No, but they are. They're very ready. They're very, very ready to talk about Season 9. And of course, because they're very, very ready, what I'm going to do is ask them how they would rate their interest in this revival Will and Grace after the 9th season. I've tweaked the character question that we had in part 1 of this Look Back to Look Forward miniseries. And now you get to rate, you only have to do it once this time. Just one character, just once for the one season. Right?
Right.
All right. So how would you rate your interest in Season 9 along the standard character CPU question that changes with each show we do? I'm sure I said that better before. Do you love it naturally, though you know what would have made it even better if the show had been Just Jack 2017, like Jack McFarlane? Did you like it? Of course. You could eat it all up. Well, most of it. Well, except the parts you don't like. But how many parts are there like that really? Though you recognize that the show has some tiny, weensy, slight, practically unnoticeable imperfections, you also find it to be creative, funny, and an all-around good time. Just like you, it has matured as well and as gracefully as you have, like Grace Adler. Do you enjoy the show? Why wouldn't you? Though you worried that it was somewhat past its prime, a regular daddy, if you will, it turns out that it's still got a few surprises left, like its ability to stay relevant in an age when LGBTQIA+ is more accepted than ever, like Will Truman. Okay, I'm going to try again. We'll see what happens. Honey, you don't have enough pills or hooch to make it through this train wreck of a show, even if you begrudgingly admit it's got heart, like your husband Stan, and he somehow keeps on ticking, like Karen Walker. Or, and I forego the impression here, you don't watch it anymore or can't bring yourself to be involved anymore in this revival, or you don't like it as much as you wanted to like it, or you think it's a bad idea that the show was revived at all. You've moved on, really, because, spoiler, you died, like Rosario Salazar. Who would like to start?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm most like Rosario.
What's your name?
My name's Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy.
And I'm more like Rosario.
Oh!
Spicy!
Only because it seems like a show I can just put on the background and kind of forget about. And it has no, interest. Like, I can just put it on. Like, there is some political aspect to it, but it just doesn't hook me like it did back in the day, where I would be so into the show. All 9 seasons, 8 seasons. I don't know. It's not the same. It really isn't.
Did you finish it?
I did.
Okay.
I've watched every episode. I watched the first 8 seasons probably 5 or 6 times, and I've watched the new season at least 3 times. And I just...
Well, you've watched it a lot for somebody who's a Rosario.
I know! And only because I really wanted to like it, and I don't. And I hate that about myself.
Well, you gave it 3 shots. 3
I
times.
did!
3 times a lady.
I was like, honey, what's going on here? And I'm like, no, it's not going on.
Oh.
I can't get into it. So that's me.
Welcome back, Jeremy. He'll have more to say, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, I will.
What's your name?
am Emily.
Hi, Emily.
I would be somewhere between a Will and a Grace on this one. There were definitely a lot of moments that I thought, why did they do this? This doesn't need to be here. But then there are other moments, oh wow, that's a fresh take. Oh, I get why they're doing this. Oh, it works really well. You know, so it kind of fluctuates for me.
Fair enough. Welcome back, Emily.
Thanks.
Hello, I'm Andrew.
Hello, Andrew.
I'm actually going to give myself 2, because I'm splitting this up into 2. I'd say...
Does this make you die inside? Or are you
against
multiples?
First, I'd say first half of the season, I would be between a Jack and Grace.
Oh.
But second half of the season, I would be a Will. But it was originally only supposed to be 8 or 9 episodes.
Yeah,
but I think a lot of the episodes...
I think it was supposed to be 10 originally, actually, and then they upped it by
16?
6.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like they kept upping it. It was 8, and then 9, and then 10. I don't know.
No, they just kept renewing it.
Okay.
See, they upped and then they renewed
Gotcha.
it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think some of the episodes in the first half of the season are, some of the best of Will and Grace. And then, kind of like what you said, but I wouldn't go as far as to say I was Rosario, maybe a little Karen, but it became more just back on TV. I wasn't oh yes, the new Will and Grace is on. But the first half of the season, I think I was. But that could have also been nostalgia, still it's back, but... No, I still think the first half of the season was just a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely sense, we kind of talked about in the last episode about how we felt like the show hit the ground running when it first premiered. It knew what it was, it knew what it wanted to be, it knew what it had to say, and it put it out there, and it took, maybe an episode or two to really hone in on it. Mm-hmm. I feel like it took them that same amount of time this time to kind of refine their characters. Because I do remember thinking, okay, well, Karen slipped right back into that perfectly. Yeah. Okay, Jack is that obnoxious. Yep, he slipped right back in. But I thought Will and Grace's character were a little, I don't know, not on the nose. And maybe it was a carryover from how they had developed it in the last couple seasons of the original series. But I just was not oh, that's not Grace. That was my biggest issue. I was that's not Grace. Deborah Messing's being a little too extra right now. But then she kind of sunk into it.
So I'm Kylie, of course.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. And I, of course, am moderating this and participating. I don't think I'd pick more than one. I think I would just stick with Will. I do think that it is somewhat past its prime. I do think it's still got a few surprises left. It's kind of reflecting what Emily just said, actually. And I do think it has the ability to stay relevant. It's funny. So I'm going to agree and disagree with the last two comments and parts. Funnily enough, Andrew, I did not like the first half as much as I liked the second half, although there are episodes up and down in each. And Emily, I agree about Jack and Karen. I think Eric McCormick hit pretty okay. I agree that Deborah Messing was a hot mess.
Yeah. I love Deborah Messing, but...
Yes. She did not have the character and did not find the rhythm. And it was almost as if... I'm not even quite sure what was informing that, other than maybe a lack of confidence. That actually came through.
Maybe all the pressure, I don't
know. All of that stuff. I mean, and there was a lot... this was this was a big deal, Will and Grace coming back, and it actually led some of this revival wave. It wasn't the first one, but it was the one with the biggest hoopla. So I would say I'm a Will. Now, you've already hedged into it with your opinions, and I'm afraid.
Strong opinions ahead.
Strong opinions ahead.
Buckle down.
I'm doing it. Talk about the season, what you loved and what you hated. You can go whatever order you want.
I hated a lot, so...
Let Jeremy
have at.
You don't want to go first?
I do not. The throwbacks to the different aspects they had with, Grace and her mom and Will and his mom and all that stuff. For the most part, it just kind of fell flat for me. So I'd rather somebody else go. And then I can shoot holes in it, because that's what I do best.
What did you like the best about it?
I would say Grandpa Jack is one of the best episodes in Grace history. I think that episode
is true. I agree. That was one of the better,
perfect.
stronger
I cried
ones.
in that
I cried. There was 2 times that I actually, I think, legit cried in Will and Grace, both in the revival. Rosario's Consigliere as well.
Oh, yes.
If Megan
Which was in the second half, by the way.
No, it was the first half.
What episode?
6.
Okay, fine.
If Megan Mullally does not win the Emmy for that episode, nothing is right in the world. Yeah. She deserves to beat Laura Metcalf. In the Saturday Night Live women will cancel each other out, but that's another story. No, she deserves to win for that episode. Her talking at her coffin at the end, just that monologue and saying such a funny monologue, yet so
everything that was behind it, yeah.
That moment just tore me up. So those are my 2 favorite things of the series. Yeah, Grandpa Jack, that entire episode, and then
I would rank those the 2 strongest of the season, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd go over the whole series, but of the season.
I'd say they'd be my top 10, of the whole series, me personally.
I think it took the steps it had taken in the original series and really realized what kind of a platform they had created or had, I guess, initiated for the rest of pop culture and media and television to build upon. And then they now are taking advantage of what they probably really wanted to say but couldn't due to the time when it was first aired.
Interesting point.
And I think they're really kind of running with it. Like, they're doing some really, like that MAGA episode with the cake.
Yeah, that was...
You could not do that. I mean, it wasn't a great episode, but, like, they had guts to do that. And, like, it was okay to do that. For them to say whatever they want, basically. I don't know, I like, maybe what they have to say isn't always what needs to be said, but I like that they can say it.
Yeah.
Was that the Donald Trump cake episode?
Yeah,
okay.
the Make America Great Again cake.
Yeah, I think
that was kind of awesome, actually.
I think that episode was actually, like, when I rewatched it, I felt like it was a lot stronger than I even thought in the first time. Because it's like, I mean, that's a real issue.
Yeah, and, like, how Grace is arguing...
I'm, like, as hardcore liberal as you can get. I mean, most people here, all of us are. But, like, it's... we are bigoted towards the others, you know? And it's like...
It goes both ways, yeah.
Right, yeah. And, like,
and Grace arguing that.
That's right. That's the part that I did like.
Yeah, that's the only redeeming quality.
Well, and I agree, Emily. I think right now they have sort of that kismet and fortune of not only being able to say what they couldn't say before, but there's this societal attitude where you can say whatever you want, consequences be damned.
Yeah.
That the consequences be damned part is the thing that gives me a little bit of, because I don't want backlash either, and I'm afraid of backlash all the time. With regard to this particular episode, I did like the fact that they went that direction with it and made it more nuanced and two-sided. At the same time, I also just felt extremely ham-fisted. Like,
oh yeah, it felt like an after-school special.
Yeah, right. Like the anti-gay wedding cake case was in the Supreme Court right about the time that episode aired. So I was like, okay, they're making a point and they're going way too hard at it, and I'm all right with that because, you know, I have opinions that are along that line, but at the same time, it felt a little like, it wasn't funny to me. There wasn't really much comedy in it, even
it felt a little forced.
I absolutely agree with that.
I didn't need to learn that lesson, and yet I had to sit there and watch it for another 10 minutes.
It was almost like a sidebar, like, oh yeah, that's going on. That's funny.
Well, and what Emily said is a great point, because the people that they were probably directing it at were not watching it.
Exactly.
So
true.
Maybe not though, because like I mean, like I feel like it could have been handled better and more intelligently, and not so
blatantly.
Yes, but you know the fact that Karen or Grace, you know, like that side, I felt like it was good for the liberals who are watching the show, as opposed to the one, because...
That's true. It was good for the radicalized left, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I catch myself doing that, too. And, and just, like, completely judging someone, or, like, just because they're I was like, I can't do that, and
I don't want them to do that, so I can't do that.
Yeah, and I'm telling you can't...
Well, and that's what I liked about it, is that they tried to... they actually brought up the point of civil conversation. Mm-hmm. That's actually a big... Every time social media arguments happen, that's the thing that always comes back around to, like, why can't we have civil discourse anymore just because we disagree?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an argument, it can be a conversation.
Yeah, I just thought they buried the lead a little bit.
Yeah.
So
look at us getting all political.
I know. Well, they did.
True, yeah.
That's what started the revival.
Responding.
It is what started it. So what else did you love or not like?
Their chemistry right out of the bat. It was like they never left the air, the banter.
No!
I thought it was forced.
Did we watch the same show?
Yes!
Alright.
Spicy.
No, I felt like it was like, especially like, even in the little, political short that they made, it's just like, it felt like it never went off the air. Mm-hmm. It didn't take me time to, like, get back into these characters, even though I've seen reruns. There's not been a year that's gone by that I haven't watched the reruns. It still records on my DVR. But no, it just felt their chemistry, and it's because of those actors, and they've stayed in touch. And of all the other reboots, you can tell how they are forced, and some are better actors than others. Whereas this one is like, no, you got 4 very highly established, great theater actors who stayed friends and
understood their characters so well to begin with that they could slip right back into it.
Right, yeah.
With the exception of Deborah Messing.
She got there.
I disagree. I loved her more, I think, in this than I did the original.
I disagree with that.
What was that episode where she had, was it a breast cancer scare? Mm-hmm. It was like the second or third episode where Leo is there.
Yep.
That's where she kind of got it back. Like the second half of that episode. Mm-hmm. But like the first episode was, like you said earlier, just a mess.
She just felt like
it was a caricature,
It was a caricature or a high school performance of, I once played this character and maybe I remember how to do it and oh my god, the cameras are on me and I don't really know what's going on. I felt like the other three fell straight back into the rhythm easily. Mm-hmm. She did not.
Would you not blame the writing? Because I feel like she's always been the least
reactive to the writing. Like she's not.
Cohen and Mushnick are writing them again, though.
No, I get that.
No, but she doesn't really take to the writing as much as the other characters. Like she doesn't grab that writing and make it her own.
I read somewhere that they said that Grace was the hardest character to write for.
I don't think that's the character. I think it's just the actress.
Yeah.
But she's not my least favorite character in general. She's my least favorite on the revival.
Right. Okay. No, I feel like a lot of people, like my sister, says that. Like, I hate her. She's always been my least favorite character. And I never thought that,
See, I go back and forth between Will and Grace.
Yeah.
I think so if I were looking at this of the lens of the original series, there are times when I like Will the least. Because I think he's kind of selfish and demanding and some of the flaws that they kind of explored in the revival.
Makes it where he's the best to write his development, though.
No, I agree, but I'm just talking about in terms of visceral, emotional reaction to character. Mm-hmm. Will would have been, at times, my least favorite. And sometimes Grace, although I would say Will more often was my least favorite.
I'd say that, yeah.
Yeah. Grace, to me, is relatable. Like I said before in the last episode, she's relatable to me without not being able to relate to her, just because she probably has the most on display flaws that she's not necessarily owning like Karen. Karen knows she's a lush. She knows she's a druggie. She knows she'll say whatever and do whatever. She can. She's rich. She don't care. Mm-hmm. Grace doesn't have that luxury, so when she's on full display and vulnerable, those flaws you can relate to her and sympathize with her a little bit more. Will, you can do that too at times, but Will is the character that has super high standards that no one can live up to. Mm-hmm. So I find him hardest to like sometimes.
I agree. I guess I need to go back and rewatch it. Cause I didn't get the same feeling towards her on the revival. I don't know.
Toward Grace?
Yeah.
She got there. I agree with Emily. She got there and it probably took 3 episodes. Mm-hmm. Eventually she found that heart again.
Yeah.
She was just falling off the bike for a little bit instead of jumping back on it.
And then
I get that. In the first episode, and her with, what's his name from Hamilton.
The grandpa's dad.
Yeah.
The intern or the assistant at her.
I forget what his name is.
Yeah, he was in like 2 episodes.
James.
That was it. Is that his name?
Was it the grandpa, dad, and...
No.
That's like 3 episodes in, right?
Her new assistant temporarily at Grace Adler Designs.
What's his first
Latino
name?
guy. It's that Ramos. That is his first name,
right? I know, but I thought that was his last name.
The assistant who actually did work as opposed to Karen.
Yeah. Right.
My least favorite thing about the show.
Okay.
Are we there now?
We're there.
Will working with Grace. I thought that was stupid.
It's kind of like thrown in there, like...
I just get mad in TV shows where characters have like something very successful or profitable and they're just like, I'm just going to throw it away for this new adventure. You're a lawyer. If you don't like it, find another way to do law.
Well, he's done that for how many years? Okay, wait, how many years has he done this? Like, when did he go off to
like 12 years.
Quit that law firm with Stein and whatever. This has happened like 4 or 5 times.
It just gives me anxiety.
He had his own law firm. And he quit that. So this is like a Will thing that's happened over and over again. So that's not even a thing. That's
I don't think it's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's my opinion.
Yeah, true. Also, but I also think it is a Will thing. You're right, but he's never gone to work with Grace before, and that was forced.
True.
And they spent way too much time together.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into the scary codependency.
For such a...
Anthony Ramos.
Anthony Ramos. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, it is her opinion.
And it's completely valid.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to disagree with it.
As Sarah would say, my feelings are valid.
I don't think it's not valid because
feelings.
He is admittedly... He understands he's codependent and toxic. He says in one of the second seasons... him and Grace have a meeting with the psychologist or something where they literally say, oh, we're codependent, toxic, etc., blah, 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 for like 5 minutes, and the psychologist is like, holy crap, yeah, you're are.
Very self-aware.
Oh, yeah, we know this. We understand this, and they do too, so...
Yes, but it never turned into, I'm going to co-own Grace's longtime business that she's owned and made successful of her own volition until just this year. Why, writers? Why?
Because he's a control
freak. Yeah, he is.
Well, there's that.
I don't know if it was like they couldn't come up with any storylines or they didn't want to build an office set for him or what. Like, I don't know what it comes down to.
What are they going to do with his job, though? Like, what does he do? Does anyone really know?
He's like the financial side of it, and she's the creative.
I know, but like, aside from that, what would he do?
Continue to practice law in some capacity.
Or
who? Become a law professor at Columbia University.
Whoever.
Yeah. That's all we know is Aunt Honey's his client. That's it.
Aunt Honey. Yeah, I didn't like that.
And maybe Doucette and Stein.
What parts did you like? Other than the 2 episodes. I mean, that was what you mentioned.
Megan Mullally.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
always
consistent.
and forever. I think it took advantage of kind of what I was saying earlier about it's the platform it made way for. It's still, like, Karen says some awful, derogatory, racist, homophobic things, and that's, like, just on TV, and it's cool that such a beloved character can be that awful, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, they're showing all sides of the perspective here, which is what they did then, and from a more liberal standpoint, that was, like, the right side of things. And now they're showing kind of the ugly side of what people can be through her, and it kind of makes you realize, oh, she's always been this way.
You mean how she's pro-Trump kind of thing?
Yeah, and just like she says really racist things and always has, and you never
you didn't think it was so bad back in the day, but
now
you're looking at it, you're like,
saying them, and she hasn't learned.
She's kind of an evil bitch.
A little bit.
Kind of.
Yeah. I like that they didn't change her character, because that's who she's always been.
I agree with that, and I think that's important nowadays too, because there are people who don't change their stripes. Regardless.
I think they made her more non-apologetic.
Yeah,
I don't think she ever really apologized for who she was.
No.
But I think she's kind of more out there, and
I think she just has always had like a hard shield over her. Like she's got that.
I just don't think they had
insecurities and the like heart that she hides behind the mask. And I mean, she'd still be, a crazy Trump supporter, but.
And now that she's got, like, that platform of, I can say whatever I want, it's 2018, I can have my opinions. She's kind of getting a little bit more in your face about it. Like, I'm gonna say this awful thing because I can. And she takes delight in that, which is Karen. So I like that they've stayed true to that character.
I've laughed at a lot of things she said, and then I feel like,
I shouldn't have laughed at that.
But
what's kind of funny to me is that Sean Hayes still has the energy of Jack. But he's older now, and he can't get up here when he's doing his howler monkey voice. It's a little hoarser now. He's got a little more age, But still just as, I love when he's talking about his potential grandson and potentially being just like him. And he does the thing where he gets up on the couch and both his legs jump up, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you've lost nothing, guy.
Yeah, like the physical humor of that show. I think that was the big part of Grace for me, is Deborah Messing was a very physical performer,
That's true.
In the first series, and she didn't, she's an older woman, she's had a few kids, like, no disrespect, that happens. So that felt forced. So, like, she was trying to be big and a lot more to maybe compensate for that, where the others kind of didn't have that big of an issue.
Yeah. I think that's astute. I would agree with that.
Did anyone feel that Jack's energy didn't really match with Karen anymore? Like, he wasn't so, I don't want to say vivacious, but like...
No, I think I
thought it meshed well.
I thought it meshed well. I thought they were the ones that lost the least.
Okay.
Between the two pairs.
Well, I don't think Will and Grace had that much to lose in the long run. I think Karen and Jack were the most energetic characters.
I guess. Okay.
They were
but I still think they didn't
the ones
lose a
that, they had the most to lose to with the
True.
revival, because their characters are engraved in people, they couldn't mess it up.
But they didn't. I feel they didn't. No,
absolutely they didn't. No,
I don't think they lost anything.
Oh, I don't think I think they had the most to lose, though.
Okay. fair enough. And they achieved the not losing of it.
Was it the funeral of Rosario's quinceañera? Yeah, I can't say that word. When Jack did that, like, huge, like, dance thing at the end, and when he did, like, basically all those dance moves and did that whole musical number, because that was just comic genius. I can't think of exactly what it was.
And see, I rewatched all of them today, and I didn't watch that one.
Oh, why?
I just skipped that one. I don't know.
Okay.
That's sad.
I know. I like look at the titles. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna skip that.
That was the best. That's probably the episode I've watched more than any of the others.
Because
I watched it. No, is that the same as Rosario's funeral?
Yeah, it is.
Episode? Yeah, because it's when she's at the bar.
I'm sorry. There's two. Like they're in like Rosario's funeral and then the quinceañera.
Yeah, I think they're separate.
Okay.
Because it's like episode 4, 5, and then on.
4 is Grandpa Jack.
Because I thought many drivers showed up at the Rosario's funeral one, right? Or is it the other one?
And see, I wish I would have watched that one again now.
No, I think it's the same episode, and then she leaves the funeral / party and goes to the bar.
No, you're right. It is the same episode.
Okay, yeah.
Because Karen said Rosario never had a quinceañera.
Yes.
So she was going to throw her one.
Yes.
You're right.
Going back to something we said earlier, and we're talking about recommending for, like, you know, younger gay, you know, youth and stuff, you know, to watch this show. That's what I feel like I liked about the episode of Ben Platt. That episode.
Oh,
it was
like with like the grinder and like the whole new aspect.
Yeah. But even how the younger generations, and they don't even understand their history.
Yeah.
And I get that all the time, you know, like, I mean, anytime you go to the apartment lounge, you know, and you
Gay bar in Grand Rapids.
Yes.
Yeah.
For context.
And, like, you know, the young ones, and just, you know, like, I don't know, like, you know, like, totally, like, disregarding, like,
There's
almost,
totally
like,
an
rude to the
ignorance
older
there,
people.
yeah.
Yeah, or, like, I was talking to a friend who's gay and mentioned Matthew Shepard. And just, like, not knowing, you know, and it's just, like, or, you know,
it's a different context nowadays.
Yeah, they don't understand what happened at Stonewall,
and, like, what drag gay pride came from.
Don't mention Harvey
It's
Milk.
about, you know, young twinks, you know, and getting all naked and doing, you know, and not what pride stuff, you know, they just don't understand
what
their
generations
history.
have gone
and
through.
that was a great episode to kind of, like, bridge the gap, and how, you know, what was being gay, like, in the public eye pop culture in the 90s versus what it is now, you know? And so...
Maybe I liked the second half better because I liked the episode where Grace went back to try to help her dad, their sisters, and there was a full-on acknowledgement of the death of Mom, who was played by Debbie Reynolds, R.I.P., who passed away in real life.
That was a good send-off to her.
It was a wonderful send-off.
And I loved singing around the table.
Yeah, and it was another... That one was not a forced plot. It was a very organic, very real-life thing where you have to kind of decide sometimes what to do with your aging parent, you know, in a house that they can't necessarily keep up all by themselves with siblings who may not be willing to help. And, I mean, for me, and with Will being her rock there and everything else, that to me felt like Will and Grace again.
You had one job.
Yeah. You had one job.
Yeah. I think some of the best episodes of Will&Grace just in general were when they weren't just that slapstick comedy, and there was the heart and the real stories, and, you know, some of, like, the touching moments. That episode was absolutely one of them.
One of the things we have not talked about is how they ignore the original series.
Oh!
Emily has
Thank
feelings.
you.
They didn't ignore it, though. Karen woke up from her nap.
Quote ignored.
They
had to.
They, like, St. Elsewhere'd it, and they're like, oh, just kidding, it's all in the imagination, you know. That, I mean, as happy as I am that reality was not real, I did feel a little like it was a cop-out. Like, oh, come on, you should have at least, like, stuck to it and committed yourself. If you were going to write that ending, you should have committed to it. But also, good.
No, I'm like I'm the complete opposite. I'm like,
dodged a bullet.
No, forget that. Pretend you dreamed it. Like, forget Leo and the kids and all that crap. No, like, no, start over.
But you see, I got confused when they said forget that ending because, you know, then I didn't realize she actually divorced Leo for a minute.
True.
I know she was moving back in with Will.
The storyline wasn't very cohesive, but I wanted to forget the rest of the storyline, so
because
I don't care.
It was about Will and Grace, and if they did keep it, I mean, it could have been interesting, but it wouldn't have been the same because, you know, these kids would have been like
older.
in middle school, or like maybe like young high school. So then they'd be living separately with their husbands that are off doing other work. So they could have been, you know, and it just wouldn't have been the same.
Right.
Yeah.
But it could have worked
It
because
could've.
2018.
And they could bring it back in the next year or so if they want to bring the kids in and.
Well, they can't. They already dismissed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've never been.
They can write whatever they want. It's fine.
I get. No, you thought that was
Fine.
a dream. Now this is a dream.
Right.
You could just take after Saved by the
Don't
Bell.
Cher's gonna be in there.
Cher can be. The rest of it, no.
Yeah. What was it like? Most of season 8 was the quote dream.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Like at what point was it the dream?
Who knows?
I think
anymore?
when she got
Pregnant?
pregnant.
And when did she get pregnant?
She got pregnant in season 8, 8 episodes before the series. This
Yeah.
is one of the things I piped off about
Okay.
after I finished rewatching the original run.
She
Because
got
I was-
spicy about
I
it.
got spicy because there was a whole thing around her pregnancy and what is she going to do if Leo doesn't come back and will help me raise the baby
That's
and blah,
right,
blah, blah,
that's
blah, blah.
right.
Yeah, that was like the predominant
Turned into this
storyline.
whole story
Yes.
arc and yep.
Whole big story arc. They weren't just rewriting away the series finale. They were rewriting away half the whole season.
Yeah.
Roseanne did the same
so
too,
fast.
but that's redundant now.
Yeah.
So we don't need
What?
to
We're not talking
Roseanne
about
did that too
Oh,
with the dream.
But I said, but we don't need to worry about that anymore.
Hashtag cancel.
Well, and the one thing with
Hashtag
Will&Grace
racist.
is, though, I
Hashtag
really
good
didn't agree with the
riddance.
fact that they brought in how many guest stars in the last 2 seasons
Yeah, a
I
lot.
bought it a lot.
and turned it into some whole, like, I don't know, sitcom, like, guest starring so-and-so every single episode. I'm like, no.
I would say that's what I didn't
Hilarious.
like about.
Can I just point out that hilariously, you wanted to talk about season 9 during the original. Now you want to talk about the original during season 9.
True. Because they both coincide with something. There's a point to everything.
I mean,
that
bouncing
point
off
is-
of
We're
that.
waiting.
Bouncing off that.
Andrew
I
has a
will
point.
Say,
Something.
I felt like in the original when they kept having all the guest actors just on just because they're a star, having old characters from the original make their cameos just to put them in.
And that was
Yeah.
my point, and I love
I
the
agree
show.
with you there. It felt a little like, hey, you guys remember these characters?
Yeah.
Ha! How about now, nostalgia? And you're like, oh yeah, I love that.
Some were great.
Some of them were great.
Yeah.
Live Danner was still
Blythe
great.
Danner,
Yeah.
Even Minnie Driver.
Oh, she's always
Minnie
great, though.
Driver is always great.
Yeah.
Beverly Leslie, of course.
Beverly Leslie is the best, except
As the homeless person or whatever.
how
it was, that
did
one
his
episode.
wife stay alive?
Crystal? Oh my god.
Crystal.
my-
Crystal, oh
she's a
my
vampire.
word.
She has
Because she's been dying
deal
for
with
like
Satan.
12 years.
I know, at least. She was dying
In Infamous Words, Karen Walker. That's the deal, right, Brad?
Although I think he sincerely loves her. That's nice.
Yeah.
But at least he sort of admits, although I think that's a hallucination too, that she's his beard.
I just rewatched the episode with his business partner Benji, where the fur trader or something back in like the 20s. Remember that episode? The
That
old
one
Christmas
was
one.
weird.
It was weird.
Oh my gosh, yeah! Like, I was along for that ride because I love a period piece, but that was just like,
I
what am I
loved
watching?
that episode. I thought
It was good, but
hilarious.
it was weird.
And I like how it all
That-
stemmed because Grace had to pee.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Karen's like, hello, 1880s want their curtains back.
Yeah.
See, I think that would have been a good episode for them to have tried to do live.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
it would've-
yeah.
That would've
Although the
worked
quick
well.
changes would have been hell.
Dude, they just had to
True.
restructure it.
Like when
Oh,
Grace
jeez.
dunks the Oreo in the milk.
Wait, but no, she
I'm
didn't
onto
call,
something.
they weren't Oreos. They were what they call. She didn't say Oreo.
There was something else. Yeah, they were a generic name.
Oh,
like,
like she said some weird Oreo. Oh, what was it like?
but everybody knew.
Oreos or something
I don't know.
like.
You've watched it 3 times.
Yeah, I've only watched it
I only
once.
watched it once.
I've only watched it once too, except for a couple episodes. I think I watched the first episode twice. I also love the whole homage to I Love Lucy
Yes.
with Karen and Grace in the
That
shower.
one's fun.
Oh my
The
god.
So I was like, I
It's
mean,
really
like
fun.
blatant, like.
Was that the one
Yeah.
where the shower is like
Fills
filling
up.
up?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. It was total Lucy and Ethel, and like basically.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yes, agreed. I like that one. Stan's still kicking?
Apparently, and it's not Alec Baldwin.
No.
I got so confused
Well,
when she was like,
it was
"Stan,
never
come on
Alec
out,
Baldwin.
honey," and it was Alec Baldwin, and I was like, "This whole time?" And then she called him Malcolm, and I was like,
No.
"Oh,
I thought his appearance was fun too.
His appearance was fun.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because they have a.
Molly
History.
Shannon's was forced.
yeah." I had forgotten about that character.
I didn't forget about the character, but I think she lost the character a little
Yeah.
bit, which is sad because I love me some Molly Shannon.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Are we still waiting for Stan's character to actually...
Oh, he never will.
No,
No.
I know.
I'm convinced. He never will.
They would not. There's
They
no
have-
Ruin my
way
life.
anyone would be satisfied with how big of an actor or
No, it'd be
character
like
it
the
is,
mist
'cause
monster off Lost.
Except bigger.
Yeah, it's gonna be like
And
that.
more ham.
That
Yeah, made out of
unnoticed presence, or that presence.
It
we
would
never
be
see.
funny if he was like, you know, Stan just happened to be some just like maybe like mildly
Normal dude.
overweight person.
Yeah, like,
they were just like fat shaming.
Yeah,
just,
like,
guy with a dad bod.
Oh, that's not
Right? Yeah. And she'll say how hideous he is, and Will
like
will
he's
be like, "What are you
spelled from
talking
Modern
about?"
Family.
Something, yeah.
If they do that, I'll plats. I'm just gonna say it.
No, I almost would
I
rather
hope
not
not.
meet Stan, just because I've come to terms with the fact that
You'll never know.
we'll
his-
never know. We'll never know if he's dead, if he's alive, if he's in witness protection, you know.
Has the show successfully made itself relevant 11 years later?
I don't think so.
Why not?
For the most part.
Why not?
I think it's too forced. Like, I think they're forcing a lot of the political agendas into the show now that are current. I really do. There's too many Donald Trump analogies, which I think are funny, think are apt to provoke discussion. I just don't think they're inserted in a way that they're fluid.
I agree. I think that at first, like that first episode was really politically heavy-handed, and I feel like, but I do think that it is on the right track in being relevant for now, and I think that it has a lot of great things to say, but without just pushing it too far, you know, and like forcing it on us. I think that some of the funniest, even like Trump stuff with like Karen, I think like some of the funniest moments were just like the throwaway like one-liners, you know,
The
and like
Russian
it
liners,
reminded
yeah.
us, right, like who she is. Oh yeah, she's friends with, you know, Melania, and you know she just got back from Mar-a-Lago. But, you know, funny, but not when it's just like.
I didn't mind it in the first episode just because it was a natural segue from the political.
Yeah, maybe that's why they did that.
Yeah. But I think as it kept going, like a running gag, aside from the one-liners, because I agree those were funny. But the ones that were, again, like the bakery episode, and there were a couple of them where it was just more than a one-liner.
Like, they were kind of hitting you over the head with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't like.
I
get hit over the head enough, thank you,
Yeah.
with real life and stuff. Just saying.
But yeah, that's how the show has always been
Yeah.
regarding like pop culture and what's going on in the world today. But I do feel that a lot of it was just like nudge nudge, wink wink, a lot more than
Say
it was
no
in the original. Right.
And see, I don't know if it was so much that, maybe I'm more sensitive to it now, like those political aspects. Maybe it's just,
Sensitive to the political part?
Yeah.
Okay.
maybe back in the day I was like, oh, that's funny. Now I'm like, that's not quite so funny. Like,
Because now it's real.
now it's more serious.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
2018
we might be at war in any years.
2004,
So,
that might not be a good thing.
hey,
a
nuclear
good
war,
point.
thank you.
I have faith that the writing will get better by season 2.
I think so.
I think that they will
It was
get
it was on an
there.
uptick.
Mm-hmm. And they're getting
Almost as
into
if they
their
were warming
groove.
up a little.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas like the actors, I feel like it was a lot easier for them, like muscle memory, riding a bike, to get into it, as opposed to these writers that have been off writing for so many other projects.
Well, see, I feel like after like 2 or 3 episodes, you could finally see them warming up to it. They got it every couple episodes. Like
Right.
the first one, I was like, that's kind of forced.
Yeah.
And like after episode 3, I'm like, okay.
I didn't
can see
mind
that
the
now.
forest in the first. I figured the first episode would be kind of ham and cheese on rye, just because. Have you met this show? It's
Yeah.
not like it's always
Serious.
serious.
But it had some layers to it. And like I think the first episode of this season did not. And
I don't think they were trying for layers. That's what I'm saying. I think they
Okay.
were trying to reintroduce the show to today's audience
On a basic level,
on
yeah.
a basic level. And today's audience is going to be half the people who watched it the first time, and half maybe some of these younger viewers that are like, Will&Grace, my older sister watched that show.
Yeah, like an introductory course.
Exactly.
Or a
well, and see, for
origin
like
story
me,
type.
I've watched it like 17 times all the way through. So I'm like, oh my god, I don't see these nuances that I saw back in Grace in season 5 of whatever, blah, blah, blah.
But how did you feel after the first episode?
After the first couple, I felt more secure in the fact that it would be written well.
Okay.
We've also been so spoiled since then with the variety of TV we we have, and there's so much on that I feel like our standards are higher
Yeah.
in general.
And even the development of Will and Grace in season 5 through 9 or 8 was awesome, whereas a lot of the shows nowadays are not anything like that. The character development is not as great.
I don't know if I agree with that generalization.
No.
I really don't think so.
Some of them were terrible, but some of them are great.
We are in the golden age of TV.
We are in a...
And there's a problem when the Americans is not watched.
Andrew, one more person.
What show?
The Americans.
What's that?
It was on FX. It starred Kerry Russell and Matthew Rhys. They're about Soviet spies, 1980s, living as Americans.
Yeah, I had no idea. It must not be that great.
One of the best TV shows on TV.
I know.
Mark my words, off topic.
I
Upset, Kerry Russell won't win the Emmy.
No bias whatsoever.
I know. I really think she will.
Okay.
I'm gonna, on Gold Derby. I'm putting
one
that
more.
Will and Grace.
But no, I would not. Sorry, Jeremy. I'm going to have to spicily disagree with your generalization. Spicy. Yeah. I think Will and Grace's development slowed considerably in the latter half of the original series. Number one. Number two, I agree with Andrew. This is the golden age of TV. There's so much that by sheer competition, it's like economic theory on TV. People have to be better to stay afloat longer.
Hopefully,
such an oversaturated market.
Mm-hmm.
There's hundreds of new shows coming out every
Netflix
year.
has an $8 billion yearly budget for their
I
shows.
hope
$8 billion.
I read an article in the New York Times that said 10 years ago, on average, there might be 80 new introductions between network TV and cable TV and premium TV.
Oh, 300 now?
500 for this television season alone, between network, cable, streaming, premium.
And now you're getting YouTube and Facebook joining in. It's just...
I was reading an article about all the ones that were canceled this year, and stuff I knew about, like big names like Jane the Virgin and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And then there's all these other shows that are on FX and Stars and Showtimes that have been on for 7 or 8 seasons, and I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
And how many other shows are like that only last 1 or 2? It's crazy how many TV shows are out there.
And some of them
these
are
days.
probably great, like Fireflies and Serenities, that kind of thing.
The
You'll never know how great they are.
The Americans lasted for several seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But I'm just saying, people hardly ever watched it.
Well, I'm going to go back and rewatch it.
It's available on...
I will watch it. I haven't yet.
You could be our last panelist, and you would make Andrew the most happy person.
All right, I'll go home and watch it this week.
No. It's on Amazon Prime. I love you forever.
All right, I'll watch it.
He's been bugging me for a year.
I'll be back.
It just blows my mind that more people don't watch that show. And the series finale, we were talking about bad and good series finales.
Is it a good one?
One of the best series finales of all time.
Okay. My roommate has Amazon Prime, so I'm going to go watch that now.
So speaking of the competitiveness of the market...
Yes, Will and Grace. So I think...
Oh yeah, that's why we're here.
That's why I moderate. So Will and Grace. I think they had to reset a little bit. Mm-hmm. They had to get back into a rhythm. I mean, it has been 11 years since they started.
I know, it seems weird.
I know, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. Yeah. And then they had to introduce it to people that have never seen it before. So I think the first episode had to be a little cookie cutter, as it were, and maybe forced. I thought it was funny. I did actually watch that one a couple times too, because I thought, haha, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah. They just kept that going too much before they found their heart again. Yeah.
I think even aesthetically, the show picked up where it left off. Will's apartment looks like Will's apartment, but in 2018, you can see the progression of what his style was into oh yeah, that's where the coffee table is now, and that's where that picture of that boy is now, that man that you see in all the background shots. Yeah. That's there, and you see now that he had those straight back chairs around the coffee table, and now he's got the ones with the straight back, but it's cloth. You can see that is his character, and that's how he has evolved. Mm-hmm. And you can even see that with the fashions. Everybody wears very similar things to what they would have worn, but they're very updated and very timely.
It's true.
So I always appreciate that.
The backsplash. I've noticed the backsplash
Oh,
in
God.
the kitchen.
What is it? I haven't noticed.
It's more of like this olive color, not the 70s olive, more of like a dark, almost like the color of those pillows right there.
What was it? Like the metallic? It was like...
Before it was more of like an off-white kind of a metallic combination. I feel like, now don't quote me on that.
I'm gonna go back and look.
Yeah,
She
I
was
know.
wrong.
I'm wrong. I probably am. I just noticed that it was markedly different.
Sure.
But not like you're saying, still in keeping with what Will probably would pick out.
Yeah.
I've updated the kitchen. This is what
Yeah,
it
and
looks
you know
like.
he's done that like 3 times in the last
At
10 years.
At least.
But that's what happens. I mean, things go out of style after 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, granite countertops are going to be out soon because nothing stays in fashion.
Butcher
And
block
style-
and cement is coming
Yeah.
in.
Is that what it is?
Well, whenever I do try to reno, I'm going to try to pick something that will last.
Right.
Just saying.
Formica.
No, not that. So how do you feel about the revival series? We've kind of bridged this a little bit, but flesh this out. How do you feel about the revival series within the context of the original 8 seasons? Does it connect?
I think it is a good continuation of these 4 people who offer very different perspectives, and I think theirs are good perspectives to be telling. There's more stories to be told through them, and especially this time of, this point in our history, I think there's a lot of stories that can be told through those 4 specific lenses, so I think there is some longevity there. I don't foresee it going another 8 seasons, but maybe, it's renewed to, 10, 11? I feel like after that, maybe they could gracefully bow out, but I think there's room there. I think there's not necessarily a demand, but there's definitely a warm spot for it. Like, I'll continue to watch it for sure. It's not going to be, I'm not going to be excited every time a new episode comes out, but I'll look at my Hulu and say, oh, I got 3 episodes. Okay, I'll sit and watch them all, So I think there's definitely still an audience there.
I'd be the same way.
I agree. I feel like if they continue to, I mean, I'm sure they love having this kind of paycheck again.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it won't last as long if they continue to do these like full season orders as opposed to like the mini seasons like original, because these are people that all have other stuff going on.
The original series averaged 22 episodes a season, give or take.
Like most network shows.
Yeah.
Sitcoms.
Right. I'm saying like, I feel like to continue on, they'd have to go back to like shorten episode, like 8 episode seasons for them to like continue on.
I think 13 is a good number.
Yeah, I do too. Because that's like what This Is Us does, right?
Yeah.
No, I meant like for
Yeah.
them and with like their, well, Kim Schmidt's different. They still get a bunch of, when you're doing this network stuff, you're like filming an episode like while
an episode
another
a week or
episode's
something.
airing.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I don't think that they will be willing for that many more years to do this show.
The full commitment it takes, yeah. I think, because I know they all have families and other projects.
I could say like 1 or 2 more seasons. Probably nothing very substantial after that.
Well, you're going to get 2 more seasons for sure.
Are you going to keep watching since you have such strong opinions about it?
Yeah.
I will actually.
Okay. See if it gets better.
So you're more of a Karen than a Rosario.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
I'm more of a honey. What's going on here? What is
By
this?
the way, Kylie, this is my first
You don't have
podcast
enough
without
pills or
ratings.
coach to make it through this train wreck.
There were
but
ratings
you
before?
think it's got heart.
Yes.
That's what
I
you
am a
should
Karen.
have picked.
Always never a full number. I was gonna say this is my first podcast without ratings.
Oh, and you're always like a
I
6.5
couldn't
or
say I was
something.
a 4.5 or 3.5.
That's because this is
I'm a Will and a half.
show. It's not a brand new show. It's an old show. It's a look back show.
I've
that
done
became a
like
look forward.
so many look backs. I should have known that then.
A glance all around. 360.
It's true.
Yeah, weren't you on 6 Feet Under? Come on now.
We do the star ratings on first looks of new shows.
Oh, that's all it is? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's all.
Program.
Thanks, Andrew.
How would you rate your podcast experience today?
Please
1 through 10.
Shh.
He's thinking.
7.4.
There it is.
Which is equivalent to about a 3.5. So
That's right. I'll take it.
I'll take it, yeah. Because it's a 5-star rating scale. Oh my God.
Right.
I like doing 10-point rating scales because then you can think about it in terms of like your grade. Like,
Well, we do
If
half
I did a
stars.
10-point, I wouldn't probably do halves or fourths.
I don't believe you because you still always do things.
I don't trust you.
So you say that, but false. So as far as the revival series connecting to the original 8 seasons, I think it does pretty well. I think it has to, and I think they do that through the guest stars. So even though that felt like a parade of essentially forced gimmicky things, I think they did that on purpose to remind us that there was a root back then. And again, they're trying to placate a new audience. I don't know if that new audience stuck around. I think the ones that are really watching are the older audience.
Same, yeah, that's what I think.
But I think that's what they were trying for in the end.
How has the ratings been?
Good.
Good.
Pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Not Roseanne good, but good.
Not Roseanne good. I mean, they're still getting... I'd still say they're pulling high, close to 10 million viewers a week.
Oh.
And they originally renewed it for the 10th season, but then they renewed it for the 11th season at the end of the 9th season.
Yeah.
So it's clearly doing well enough for them to feel confident 2 seasons out.
Yeah, that's pretty unheard of.
In the original of the show, they would have been canceled. That was abysmal ratings.
It's just
Just
that nobody's
there was
watching
only
live
a
TV
handful.
anymore.
Right. Just going back to, like, there's just so much TV
You're right.
now. Yeah.
They got to do this live +8 now because of the people that find it in the 8 days afterwards on streaming, depending upon which service they're on. It's ridiculous. I mean, the industry is complex.
I know.
Will&Grace was renewed, as we've mentioned, for a 10th season. And an 11th, but for right now, we'll stick to the 10th. What questions do you have going forward? What predictions, if any, do you wish to make for the new season?
What long-term relationships are they going to get into?
Yeah, I
what
want
kind
them
of
to find
shenanigans are
love.
going to ensue?
I want more storyline with Elliot
I
and
agree.
Jack's
Yeah,
grandson.
I do too.
Yeah.
And maybe with Rosie, because she was gay. Does Elliot even know now? I want to know more about that. She couldn't.
Oh, Rosie O'Donnell, his
Rosie
mom. I
O'Donnell.
thought you
Rosie
meant
O'Donnell.
Rosario.
Oh, yeah,
I was
no,
like,
rest in peace,
what?
Rosie.
Where did I miss that?
No. Because she was gay, but she couldn't tell Elliot,
That's right.
and
That's
now she
true.
is that.
He has 2 gay parents, but
And
is
a gay
so
son.
against it. Yeah.
So I really want them to
I
explore
love that
more.
idea.
I want
Write it.
more of that. Write it, send it to them.
That's
Tweet
right.
Deborah Messing.
Where's Rosie O'Donnell nowadays? I'm asking a legitimate question.
Just being shady.
The DNC.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry, Rosie, if you're listening.
She's probably committed herself when he became president. I mean, they've always hated each other. So
She said that with all seriousness.
and I am
Right.
I know she got blocked off his feed because she
Wow.
was one of the ones that
Who
was...
has-
90210 Betty Ford Clinic.
Right.
Aww.
Well,
I love this idea. I
I
actually
do
wanted
too.
more...
I would watch that.
I would too. I really wanted more Elliot than what we had. I know that he has to struggle through his
And his
apparently
stupid wife.
born again wife or something, but I think that's fodder for much more interesting stories too. And Jack is just he's growing up a little.
Yeah.
He had a new boyfriend for longer than a week. That was growth. And then he broke up with him.
Oh yeah, he wanted to
The
move in
hetero
with him.
cop.
Yeah, he wanted to move in with them, but the guy was newly out, so he wanted to sow his seeds for a little while, as it were.
The connection wasn't there.
No,
I'm glad that worked. I wouldn't want
They were a
him
little
to have
awkward.
bet. Yeah, but I do like that he was the one that actually had a relationship and not the single.
Yeah. And he was the one who initiated all the commitment talk.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was a big deal.
I didn't like Cheyenne Jackson as who's he? Michael?
The old, Will's old
Yeah, like
boyfriend.
from the beginning of the show, and then that ended up being like Cheyenne Jackson, right?
I thought he was played by somebody else in the
He
original
was.
series.
He was.
Was it
he was
Cheyenne?
in the original show.
Yeah.
Cheyenne
I'm pretty
wasn't.
sure.
He was
That's
in
Jackson.
episode 5 or 6
Oh,
of the first
I
season.
Yeah.
don't remember him from that. I just remember him from the first episode.
Yeah,
because
Will
they had
goes-
just broken
It wasn't
up.
Cheyenne Jackson
No.
back then, because he
No.
would have been like 10.
Well, just
Well,
like
not
Will's,
10.
Will's brother was replaced.
Will's brother was replaced, yeah.
Gina Davis wasn't. Was she replaced?
Grace's
or was she
sister?
just
Yeah.
the sister that wasn't there?
No, she was replaced
She was
too.
replaced.
Yeah.
I didn't know she had more sisters, and I was just like, "Where's Gina Davis?"
Is that who Sarah Rue was supposed to be?
Yeah, I think so.
Sarah Rue looked amazing.
Sarah Rue's in a series of unfortunate events.
Is she?
Season 2.
I've always liked Sarah Rue.
I did too.
Oh, I was like,
Same.
oh.
Present
Did?
tense.
Oh.
I currently feel that way.
It's the things.
Downer.
Loopiness. No. What other questions or predictions? Or none? Do you have none? You just want to wait to see what happens?
Mostly.
Predictions of what guest stars will come back. Reprise her role.
Cher.
Oh my
Cher.
Speaking of Cher, she was just honored. She's getting the Kennedy Center.
Yeah, so is Hamilton.
About time. It's
Not
a special
that
award.
one,
Right,
no.
but still,
Yeah.
I mean, like, Hamilton should not be getting lifetime achievement.
No, he's
anything.
getting also you're great instead of no, you're amazing.
Yeah. I mean, like, not just him, like Tommy Kail and all of them. But yeah, no, Cher.
They should bring back. I wouldn't mind if they brought back all the pop divas like Britney and Madonna. Just because those episodes. Well, the Madonna episode was a little awkward.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
But she's important to the culture, as I understand.
Demi Moore.
Demi
The
Moore.
babysitter.
I did
that's
not like
right.
her character.
I didn't either.
That was a squeamish episode. I didn't like that one.
I think that unfortunately the characters that all those divas played wouldn't really make sense.
Britney would. She would be like a Fox News correspondent now.
She would totally, but like Madonna totally wouldn't. Cher would feel a little.
J-Lo
as much as
could
I would
come
love
back.
it, I would feel weird.
J-Lo
about it.
has ties with NBC now, so she's...
No, they canceled that. Shades
Oh,
of
that
Blue was
cop show?
canceled.
Yeah, but she still's got Will the Dance.
She does.
Oh, right. I forgot that was on
Speaking
NBC.
of which, I'm real sick of seeing those ads on YouTube. Real sick of it.
Emily has feelings!
World of Dance.
I don't watch it.
I don't either.
I watch it when it's on, like I have it recorded, and
Well,
some
you're-
of those
yeah.
dancers are
You're a dancer.
really
You're a dancer.
impressive.
I also don't watch reality competition shows.
Oh, I sure do.
Well, maybe you can start her.
I was gonna say, if you ever did any branch off for that, I'm your girl.
I will
Yeah, you
absolutely
should
do a
talk.
drag race one. I can even maybe get some queens to join.
Oh, that would be spicy.
Yes.
In all the
Yes, please.
Just a few that I know.
Everybody said they would watch this. Keep watching, right?
Yeah.
Even you.
Yes.
Jeremy.
Even him.
And we'll keep watching. Hopefully it will get better.
Would you recommend?
I would.
Rob-
Just because
I-
I am so pumped about the last 9 seasons or 8 seasons.
I would recommend it to people who had watched the show previously. I
So
wouldn't
long-time
necessarily.
fans.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily be like, "Oh, you've never watched it? Here, jump in," because
Right.
it's
Oh,
there's
no.
such a
Recommend
rich
the original.
tapestry
Yeah.
of inside jokes and characters and storylines, and I just feel
I
like,
would refer them back to the original.
well, yeah, I would
before.
say, oh yeah, if you want to get into this, I recommend watching at least the first 3 seasons or something.
Amazingly, it's all on Hulu, so you can just go one from the other or to the other.
And I feel like it's on, like, Ion or something. Like, because I always have it recording, and, like, all of a sudden I'll get new episodes of Will&Grace on from one of the random stations. Yeah, I agree with Emily. I wouldn't recommend it to someone unless someone was a fan of the original series. They're like, oh, I haven't watched it yet. Should I? Yes, absolutely. But if they never watched Will&Grace, I
Yeah.
wouldn't recommend the new one. I may say, check out the old one. If you like it, yeah, watch it. I mean... But there's just way too much on TV to recommend season 9 and 10 of Will&Grace to someone that hasn't seen Will&Grace.
I buy this. I'll cop to that answer. I agree. Longtime fans, watch the original first.
Yeah.
And then if that really tickles your fancy and you're not going to have this view about, oh my gosh, 20 years ago was so not progressive, then by all means keep going with season 9. Because really it's more of the same, just in a new year, as we've covered quite thoroughly today. At this time, is there anything else you'd like to say about season 9 of the Will&Grace / the revival season?
I'm glad it came back, though. It made me happy.
Yeah.
It still makes me happy. I don't rush to watch the shows or the episodes, but it still
Right.
makes me happy when I watch them.
I mean, like, our current climate, both environmentally and politically, are really dark right now and not the happiest thought. So it's nice to have something to remind you of a simpler time, give you the warm fuzzies, as it were.
Yeah, I like that.
Escapism. It is
Yeah.
definitely the year of escapism, entertainment.
I mean, that's always been me, but now especially.
Yeah, now I, like, intentionally shut out the world.
Yes.
I used to read the news every day, and now I'm like, I can't watch the news. I can't read the news.
Yeah.
Give me my tabloid gossip. Like, I never used to listen to
I'd
tabloid
much rather
gossip.
hear, honey, what is this? What's going on here? What is this?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, what's going on here? What is this? What are you doing? I wish I could do a better Karen.
Don't we all?
Shut up.
I totally quoted.
I appreciated
I
it.
totally quoted Karen the other day, but the people I was with didn't like get the reference. I do that all the time, and it was like, and they thought I was like serious.
What
Did you have a
did you
G-spot?
say?
I was looking for money in my pocket. You know, like, to get something out. I was just like, and then I was like, a 5? What is that doing in here? We were just like,
$5? $5 whole dollars?
Right.
Like, $5? What is this? The Democratic National... Never mind. Not going there.
You did.
I started to. Did not finish.
That's fine.
I get really upset when people don't understand my movie or TV quotes. And they
But that's why you have Couch Potatoes Unite.
It's, yeah.
Let's see, I'll tag you in
Yes. I know all about this, Emily says.
Sure. Cool.
Right.
Don't jump the shark.
Watch,
Please.
watch it, the original series if you haven't already. And if you haven't, why are you listening to this?
We always have. You should meet Spencer. That's what he says.
Bring back, creators, if you're listening, bring back Jack's grandson and Elliot and Rosie O'Donnell. And do a musical episode. And do another live episode.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Those are my
I'd be on board
requests.
with all of those suggestions and requests.
And if you do them all, I will expect my royalties.
I expect an executive producer credit.
Have your people call my people. We'll do lunch.
Yeah.
Yes.
He doesn't have people.
Oh.
I have people.
You have people?
Buried in your
I
basement.
don't have people.
You know what? We have so many people that at this time
We're just people who need people.
We're people. Oh, jeez.
And that makes us the luckiest people.
The
Are you going to start
luckiest
singing
people
Hello?
in the world.
Sorry, go on.
Anyway, speaking of people, I'd like to thank Jeremy, Andrew, and Emily for joining me once again to talk about Will and Grace. And since I thanked them and they came back and we did this whole piece, I gotta do this whole piece. CPE was produced by Backpocket Productions, run by yours truly, the Chief Couch Potato, and hails from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Please, if you like what you hear, take the time to rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Google Play. That means give us stars, comments, reviews, let us know how we're doing, what you like, what you don't, etc., etc. If you have suggestions on shows we might consider, contact us at our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, by email at couchpotatoesunitepodcast@gmail.com, or by Facebook and Twitter, though, of course. We add new and old shows to chat about around the water cooler all the time. We have several more new episodes coming down the pike. I listed many of them in our intro, and if you've missed old episodes or want to know in general what we cover, we're everywhere. Search for us on the Googles under Couch Potatoes Unite Podcast or Couch Potatoes Unite ! And there we will be. Subscribe at our website, our channels, or our social media accounts in the meantime to stay up on new events and episodes. Now, until the next time, Will and Grace, both the original series and the revival season, are only available on Hulu. If you want to catch up, our panel recommends you do. In the meantime, our Will and Grace panel will next reconvene following the conclusion of season 10, which is confirmed for 18 episodes, the finale of which will no doubt air in 2019, and the Will and Grace revival as our miniseries now becomes one of our ongoing panels covering the show. Isn't that neat how that works? So until next time, until next episode, new episodes published every Wednesday. Keep listening, keep watching, stay tuned.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.